Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard. Just now we're in the middle of our harbour cruise. We've just tacked, then turned back in towards town. Behind me is Blue Rocks, and then behind the camera is the Ovens National Park. We've had great sails this year. The other day we cracked out of town at 11 knots with a reef in the mainsail. We had 28 or 30 knots of wind over the deck. That was quite exciting for passengers and crew. Everyone had a big smile on their face. And it seems the wildlife is coming back this spring as well. We've seen some porpoise, seen some seals, and last Saturday we had the rare sighting of a shark. It was sort of meandering alongside the ship for a couple of minutes, so had a good look at it. And then also seen some northern gannets. And of course the ubiquitous seagulls that are here. And I've heard some terns, so the terns are back as well. So lots of wildlife here in the bay. We do have extra tickets this time of year, so particularly in the morning cruises. So if you want to come out for sail with us, it's a great time. Great time to see Lunenburg and to see the spring unfold on the water. We've also had some foggy days here, so that's always interesting to take people out into the cotton batten and to picture what it was like to be under sail on a traditional schooner with not really knowing where you are and doing time and distance and to have that sort of cast back into the past. Speaking of the past, one of the great things we're going to do this week is the squadron commander, Colonel Parsons from 434 Squadron, is coming to see the ship. So 434 Squadron go back into the Second World War when the Rotary Club adopted a squadron of Halifax bombers, and they called themselves the Bluenose Squadron in order to honor that adoption, and painted the hubs, the propellers blue. So from that time through till today, the 434 Bluenose Squadron has kept Bluenose history and has kept the idea of the Bluenose and the Bluenose as their mascot. We have the squadron colors and speed stripe painted on our port mooring bit, and aloft on the top of the main mast we have their squadron logo, which is "We Conquer in the Heights." So it's great to have Colonel Parsons have the time to come aboard and join us and have a chance to renew the friendship between the squadron and the ship. I'm happy to be here this morning with Delbé Comeau. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the deck doctor. Spent 24 years on board, most of them as chief mate. So welcome aboard, Delbé.
Thank you very much. It's very nice to be back aboard. It's been a while.
Okay.
Yes, bringing back a lot of pleasant memories, I'll tell you. I know it's a young crew aboard today. Season just starting, and it reminded me of my first day aboard when I came, and being intimidated by everything, the size of the gear, and having to learn the ropes. I had sailed on smaller schooners, but this was slightly different. So yeah, it was sure a lot of fun.
So we were discussing the other day, and maybe my memory is slipping a bit. Can you tell us when you joined and when you retired?
Okay, my first year was in 1975, and I joined sort of in the mid-season when a crew member that I knew left and they needed a replacement. So I was working in Ottawa at the time, and I got a phone call from this old friend of mine, and he said, "I just quit," and he said, they asked me if I knew anybody. He said, "I don't know if you're interested, but if you are, you could probably call this number," which was the first mate, Fred Copus at the time. So I called, and the next day I was on the road headed for Nova Scotia. So that was 1975. So then I was the rookie deckhand. The crew was already experienced that was on board, and worked slowly my way up the ranks from deckhand to bosun to second mate to chief mate. So yeah, and finally retired in 1998. So 24 years. Great career.
Thank you for being aboard today, Delbé. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Great to spend some time with old shipmates and have some good memories.
Absolutely.